Ms. Fani Indriani, and it is awesome and precious chance for me to be your master of ceremony in this event. On this Tuesday, 4th of July 2020, in our and we don't forget to praise and salutation upon our prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the last messenger, the last figure, and the best figure in this universe, the person who is be able to save us from Jahiliyah era to the lightning era. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed the program today, I would like to express our sincerely gratitude to the honor Rector of Institut Agama Islam Negeri IAIN Salatiga, Professor Dr. Zakiyuddin Badawi, to the honor a speaker Dr. Sapta Nirwandar SA, the chairman of Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center and Indonesia Tourism Forum, and also the commissioner president of Etokohalal, the excellency a speaker Professor Dr. Irwandi Jaswir, the awardee of King Faisal International Prize in Service, in Islamic Service, sorry, and also the director of International Institute for Halal Research and Training, or INHART, the International Islamic University Malaysia, or IIUM, and also the excellency speaker for Professor Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz, the Dean of Economic Faculty of IIUM Malaysia, and also the author of Islamic and Economic Globalization. And the last excellency to speaker, Dr. Abdul Aziz Nugraha Pratama, as the Vice Dean of Economic Faculty, the Faculty of Islamic Economic and Business, IAIN Salatiga. Ladies and gentlemen, before we enter the core of the show, I will read out the agenda we are in this morning. Our agenda today is as follows. First is the opening. The second is reciting Holy Quran. The third is singing Indonesia Raya. The fourth is welcome speech from Rector of Institut Agama Islam Negeri Salatiga. The fifth is prayer. The sixth is keynote speaker from Dr. Sapta Nirwandar. And the last is the seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to open this event with saying Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, step on the next agenda is reciting Holy Quran by Miss Aufa Abdillah. To Miss Aufa Abdillah, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما تحياتهم يوم يلقونه سلام وأعد لهم أجرا كريما يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا صدق الله العظيم. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks to Miss Aufa Abdillah who has recited the Quran for us. May Allah give us always guidance and help. Amin. Before the next agenda, we would like to say thanks to Ikatan Ahli Ekonomi Syariah IAEI and IAIN Salatiga, the triple IT, and especially to Ustadz Habib Hirzin from Islamic Institute of Islamic Thought East on Southeast Asia, and also Jasa Raharja. It is now my deep pleasure. It is now my deep pleasure to introduce the Rector of IAIN Salatiga, Professor Zakiyuddin Baudawi, to deliver the welcome speech And also afterward, we would like to request the officially open the first annual International Conference on Islamic and Economic Business, IECIB.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me in this opportunity to welcome all of these conference participants by first praying our grateful and praise to the Almighty God for all His blessing, grace, and mercies that have made us possible to gather here in this meeting in excellent condition and health. Dear keynote speakers and distinguished guests and participants of the first annual International Conference on Islamic Economic and Business, with the topic on Halalan Thayyiban as new wave in the global industry and society 5.0, Institut Agama Islam Negeri Salatiga is very pleased to host this conference via Zoom meeting. Interest in developing the halal markets has been peaked recently on a global scale. The awareness and importance of this market has increased during the recent years through the efforts of some scholars and business policymakers. The business volume of these markets is covered over 50 lawful according to the Islamic law. As such, the concept and practice of halal should be omnipresent in the end of ecosystem of both production and consumption within the Islamic tradition. The halal industry has therefore always been of paramount importance to Muslim majority country. There are approximately 1.9 billion Muslims in the world today. By 2030, this number is expected to increase to zero point 0.2 billion. It is important to recognize, however, that although Islam is one religion, Muslim community is not one homogeneous group. The worldwide Islamic community is spread over 200 countries with an estimated one-fifth of the world Muslim population living in non-Muslim majorities countries. The growing Muslim population worldwide translates into a rising international demand for halal products. Halal is now truly global industry, and this ever-increasing globalization represents an exciting opportunity for the Islamic economy to grow more prominence within the world economy as a whole. However, it is also present a number of challenges to do with the international attitude and rapid technological culture and technological change, and it entails important responsibility concerning the ethical governance of the halal industry and its proper regulation worldwide. There are indeed exciting times for the global halal economy. The value of the halal industry is growing at remarkable rates, from approximately 2.3 trillion US dollars in 2012. The halal sector is expected to almost triple to 6.4 trillion in 2018. This is an astonishing growth within a period of just 6 years and represents a major success for the global halal industry. Therefore, it is timely to extend the application of Halalan Thayyiban to other areas in the halal industry, introducing another scheme of halal certification, such as being here. Welcome and enjoy the conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Professor Zakiyuddin. Now, let's continue to the next agenda is prayer by Mr. Nurhuri Mustafa, MSE. The time is yours.
Prayer.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Liridha illah wa liqabuli du'a bisiril fatihah. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Alhamdulillah.
Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ni'amahu wa yukafi'u mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi lil jalali wajhil karim wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad al-fatihi lima ughliqa wal khatimi lima sabaqa nasiril haqq bil haqq wal hadi ila siratikal mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrih wa miqdaril azim. Rabbana ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidina warhamhuma kama rabbayana shighara. Allahumma ighfir lil mu'minina wal mu'minat wal muslim al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka samin qaribum mujibud da'wat ya fatahu ya alim. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan halalan thayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Allahumma aftah lana futuhal arifin wa hifdzal mursalin wa ilhamal malaikatil muqarrabin. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfi'una wa zidna 'ilma min 'indika walhamdulillahi ala kulli hal wa na'udzu billahi min adzabin nar. Allahumma ij'alna wa auladana wa dzurriyyatana wa talamidhina min ibadika sholihin min ibadikal muttaqin min ahlil ilmi wa ahlil Qur'an wa ahlil khair wa la taj'alna wa iyyahum min ahli syarri wa dhair. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dzurriyyatina qurrata a'yun waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar wa adkhilna jannata ma'al abrar ya azizu za ghaffar ya rabbal alamin. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Amin, 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 ya Rabbal Alamin. The next agenda is keynote speaker from Dr. Sapta Nirwandar SA, the chairman of Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center and Indonesia Tourism Forum, and also the commissioner president of Etokohalal. To Dr. Sapta Nirwandar, the time is yours.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremony. And because first of all, I would like to thank the IAIN to invite me, not only as chairman of Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center, and also, of course, representing the IAE. A very good morning to all of you, and then especially for the rector, Professor Zakiyuddin Badawi. Thank you also for inviting me this morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Also, distinguished speaker, I would like to say hello to Professor Irwandi and others distinguished speaker, and lecturer from IAIN, and also participant especially in Salatiga, and also, of course, Indonesia and global. I just would start with the Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah la hawla wa la quwata illa billahil azim. I think the topic this morning is a very interesting one. We say that Halalan Thayyiban is a new wave in global industry and society 5.0. This is really trendy and relevant with this actual condition. I think we have to remind ourselves about this condition actual, especially during this what we call the pandemic COVID-19. maybe we can also remind it, that's the why Allah created coronavirus. And this in the An-Nisa 28, verse 28. Allah has blessed us with a religion that is complete and perfect for all time and place. And this is the very important world. Mankind was created weak. Allah sent us the test to see how we will react and handle them. How are we going to respond? This is reflecting the condition actual. No man can blame. They are very strong. They are very powerful. Even also there is no country can blame. They are very strong enough to facing or to facing this viral coronavirus. You can see even country like America, a very superpower, China, Europe, and also Australia. Every country cannot survive with this pandemic, and only just God give us small things, we call a virus, Corona-19. You can see this, the virus traveling around the world. Actually, already this morning, the report is yesterday, I think, 13 July. Yeah, this is already 13 million affected by the coronavirus cases, and already more than 500,000 deaths. Yeah, this is total case. Indonesia also every day is increasing about 1,000, 1,500. That's mean we are still struggling how to survive this one with this virus corona. You can see this, America, more than 6 million, Europe, confirmed for this one, and of course, Eastern Mediterranean, Southeast Asia. This is reflecting a man and country now that is a very weak in front of God, in front of Allah. Allah is a power, superpower. Allah can do everything what He wants. That's this the message from An-Nisa verse 68. Then why this happened? If we look at the original of this virus is in Wuhan case. Why in Wuhan case this happened? Because they each not really related with our belief, what we call they're eating more and more that with the not halal food. There's like kelelawar or bat, and also squirrels, dog, and also snake, and etc. This is the original the virus have been identified. This from the food. Maybe our friend Pak Irwandi can confirm the original of this virus is from food. That's why actually the halal food trend, even in China's authority, especially in the region of Shenzhen, they ban the trade and consumption of wild animal, like in the China's city, eating wild meat, dog and bat. That's why they recognize now that's better with the not consumption more of wild animals. Why? Because this can be also affected with another virus. And related with this halal food trend, even in China, they already banned of the wild and food. You can see this also World Health Organization. I just read a journal or newspaper yesterday. Then they advise us in society actually stop eating wild animal, and you have to stay or you have to eat healthy and safety food. No drink alcohol, avoid non-smoking. You can see this two is really related with our belief, with our what is called lawful from the God. That means we have to eat halal and Thayyiban food. And the impact of this COVID, you can see, is a very dramatic one. It's an unprecedented impact happen in our society. You can see this can be discussed long discussion, but we just take some area. Even religious, they're affected by this corona. You can see we cannot practice our Jum'ah, uh, 2 months ago. And of course, there are also impact for the macroeconomy and also sector of economy like tourism. Of course, there is also impacted by the social, by psychological impact. You can see we have to work from home, physical distancing, then healthy, IT base, and etc. This the impact is really dramatic and affected for our life, right? This is also in terms of economy. You can see no country, even China, France, Spain, United States, Japan, Indonesia, they have in the quarter 1 GDP is decreasing GDP. We don't so we take account about the growth. Some even President Jokowi as mentioned 3 days ago, even Europe, America, and also China, they will enjoy with decreasing of growing, minus growing in this 2020. That's the impact of the corona is really very strong in economy, in healthy life, and also in social life. Yeah, this is in tourism. You can see 120 million job at risk. Sector. This sector is very what is hardly impacted by the corona. You can see also about the money, the lost export is about $1.2 trillion. This is UNWTO prediction. And also you can see this dramatically descent or decreasing of arrival, which about 1 billion arrival will be potential loss. Yeah, this is UNWTO prediction. That infected that's from this virus corona, right? Also Indonesia, the 2,000 hotel and 8,000 restaurants closed. Yeah, in Bali also 90% of the tourism industry has been closed. This also the corona impact of the our economy, especially in tourism and also other sector. Yeah. Now, how the question, how we can solve this problem, how we can face this problem? Like, we have to back to Islamic way of life. What is that? Islamic is the way of life. Of course, basically Al-Quran and Hadith. And from the Al-Quran Hadith, you can see, yes, the halal lifestyle. Halal not only for food, but you can see after, halal is also related with many of our lifestyle. That's why our center, my center, concern really from 2015 about how we can move on, we can develop the halal lifestyle in our life, in Muslim, not only Muslim, also for the non-Muslim can be also adapted. That this is topic related with this theme of the seminar, the Halalan Thayyiban as new wave in the global industry and society. You can see, basically there is a two surah. Al-Baqarah is a very famous one. Yeah, ya ayuhan nas kulu mimma fil ardi halalan thayyiban wala etc. Then we can see the important thing. Ya ayuhan nas. This ayah not dedicated only for the Muslim, but also for mankind. Mankind is for everybody, for non-Muslim and Muslim. Then I think this is important. Allah decided halal is not only for the Muslim, but halal also for the mankind. That's why halal can be also halalan thayyiban can be also rahmatan lil alamin. This is the related also the Al-Baqarah. Then we have avoided or forbidden to eat the animal blood and etc. Is also for the wild and also other things related with the animal or the food. Why the food is important? If food is daily life. Food is not only what we eat 3 times a day, but also there is related in any production in halal. That's the food is very important. And also the halal industry, not only the food, but as Rector said, halal is also extended to others activities or sector economy in our life. You can see, this is halal. Halal is important, is for to mankind lawful, wholesome, safe, healthy, pleasing. And the important thing also, halal is not just about the end product, the entire process. This one is very important. Halal is a process. That's why halal is also trust, honor, responsibility. From this statement, halal is a process. You have a new approach, what we call halal life supply chain. Yeah, this is ecosystem of the halal. You can see the halal not only food. For the production, you have food, halal pharmaceutical, halal cosmetic, halal ingredient, and the services. You have logistic, you have Islamic banking, Islamic tourism, halal tourism. You have Islamic healthcare. You can see hospitals should be also in Islamic way of life. You have also what we call the media recreation. Nowadays, media recreation is very important because we work from home, we use the internet, etc. Infrastructure, of course, halal R&D, testing laboratorium. Pak Irwandi can explain how important the research and development and testing laboratorium to make halal more precise, halal precision. Yeah, that's without any supporting from laboratorium, it cannot be done. Halal Park, digital infrastructure, actually digital is very important. You can imagine how halal can be scanning. That is what we call halal scanner. Of course, you have human capital, you have also other sector. This is an ecosystem related with the halal industry. It's not simple, only one ayah, 168, but the impact, the ecosystem for halal is really big one. That why the halal industry, I just try to mapping from this impact of the COVID. I just divided by 4. What's happened pre-COVID, what the current situation, recovery program, and post-COVID. The pre-COVID, I will just some statistic for that. Economic halal economy, current situation, of course, we have to safeguard our life and also the opportunity to online and etc. For the recovery program, of course, we have to settle or have new strategies, scenario, economy, ecological, and also health protocol. The first COVID, of course, what we call sometimes the new normal, consumer behavior change in Indonesia. This is 4 stages. I try to make a more simple to see what happened after the impact, COVID impact, right? This has been mentioned also by Rector. The pre-COVID, of course, before COVID, the global Islamic economy, state of the global Islamic report, you can see the spending of economy Islam is about 2.2, and we expect in 2014, 2024 is about $2 trillion. Okay, and this is the sector, and also has been identified before COVID. This food is a very big one. Food is a very, of course, this is daily for, we have to feeding 1.8 billion Muslim population in the world. Indonesia itself, about 220 million people, right? This is 1.9 or 1.3 trillion halal food. You can see this is a big consumption as big business also. You can see the impact for the food is less impact, yeah, because we need even the COVID, we need still food, even though food has to be increased in order to have immunity and etc. There is a medium impact, the high impact of the tourism is one, the high impact from the COVID or severely impacted by the COVID, and of course other sector bank and etc. This one, the global food industry is a very big one. You can see from the agriculture until secondary processing, and this because the farm to fork mean from agriculture until to the restaurant is many sector involved in this food industry context. Unfortunately, we are not exporting country. The biggest exporting country for the halal food is other country, like even Brazil and also from Netherlands, etc. This one, there's impact of crisis behavior. Of course, the food behavior is changed. Now we more consumption of food because we need what we call the immunitas, because the food is a very important one. Right? This Indonesia before COVID, we spend more than 208 billion dollar. For this is a Muslim spend for Indonesia for the halal industry sector. There you can see in the left side or the right side for you, food and beverage is very big one. We are number one in terms of importing and consumption of halal food. And this is before pre-COVID, we have also what we call representing a large halal consumer market in the world. You can see food, clothing, tourism, and etc. I make faster because your time is very limited. This is the opportunity for us. For domestic consumption, we have big need. And of course, why not we try to export? You know, the export is also this can be opportunity for us for the halal food, and also not halal food, cosmetic, maybe also for the halal tourism. And this is the current situation. Of course, we have strong affected by the industry sector, least affected, but also not only affected by the system, but also there is new opportunity also for food, education, webinar, sadaqah, zakat by digital media. This is the current situation, right? That means what we call even there is a problem of COVID, while we still have the opportunity to growing the other industry who has least affected than the COVID-19, like pharmaceutical. You know, everybody's to every day eat what is halal pharmaceutical, I mean food supplement and good food and etc. Then also media recreation. This is sociological. You know this one already, online digital based, physical distancing, social safety net, right? This also the scenario has been done by the government. And Pak Joko Widodo, you spend a lot of money, about 625 trillion rupiah. Yeah. This is for what? For it, for the list of corona outbreak management incentive. There's for the health, social safety net, business incentive, SME, corporate financing, Ministry of Education. This Bu Sri Mulyani, that was very busy to manage this scheme in order to solve our problem outbreak of corona. Now I try to touch a little bit for the post-COVID-19 era. You can see food still number one for whole the Indonesia. The food is number one. Indonesian food is very important, right? This is we have a 15 signal of post-COVID, the new normal for the global food industry. What is that? Healthy food boost. It is alternative protein, the alternative protein. We have to find this one. And online grocery, cook at home, customer trust. This is new signal for the halal industry in the new normal era. Manufacturing automation, that advanced supply chain. And we need some supply chain new one approach, of course, because many of people still work from home, cloud kitchen, logistic technology. This new signal for new normal in the global food industry. This is dinner standard research, and of course with us, with Indonesia Halal Lifestyle Center. Yeah, this also that. The why you can see the food is very important. There's a farm to fork, mean from agro-business side, and then of course services, transportation and services, the hotel, restaurant. And why when 1,000, 2,000 hotel is closed, the hotel services, restaurant and cafe are closed. Of course, the food supply chain will be decreasing. That is also affected by the economy, especially for the tourism sector. This is e-commerce, of course. Now it's very important. The important is IT, by fintech and blockchain, IT-based. We even in university, IAIN, I think using the kuliah with webinar and also with the online system. Yeah. This is also pharmaceutical experimental for the hospital, this rumah sakit in Bahasa Indonesia. This is also important. Why many of people needs to be checked in hospital, COVID or non-COVID. This hospital also important, especially Muslim hospital services. Only a few Muslim hospital services. Only I think in Semarang, in Yogyakarta, in Bandung. I don't know, in Salatiga, there is also Muslim hospital services based on the belief of Islamic belief. I don't know, maybe there one should be have one there. This also the inflation, this is trend. You can imagine, yeah. fashion in Paris changed. Before they are against with hijab, in Paris people again with hijab, again with the Muslim dress or fashion models. Now they're using also, this hijab and then almost cover all the face. This is new trend in hijab in fashion. This is also related with the halal industry. And this is cosmetic. Okay, cosmetic auto is one of the biggest exporters for Indonesia. We have many brands of this one. And of course, you can see in OIC, this is a potential or opportunity for us. Why? Because Indonesia is placed in a high level for the group established agro-food processor. You can see the graphic, this one. OIC, this is content or consists of 57 countries. I think we have chance to export the OIC. This is Islamic countries or at least Muslim population, the biggest Muslim population countries by the country. I mean, like, Singapore, Malaysia, and also Brunei, Africa, so many of the Islamic country, and even Saudi Arabia and etc. This member of OIC. Then we can export our food to that country. Yeah. Then actually we just some recommendation for the what we call the Sapta Helic. Yeah. What have to change because after the COVID, they change behavior. We have to follow the health protocol. Of course, we need new business model in services. We have to adapt it with this new trend. And of course, we need the IT, especially in tourism and also in our work area, in office, I mean, with the touchless, contactless, even we have also need new investment for that. And also we have to share responsibility between client and of course about the production. And also we need the very important government policy and strategy in order to solve this problem of affected by the COVID, especially for the industry. Today I just mentioned for the food, but normally we have at least 10 sectors related to the halal industry. But due to the time, food also very important. If you ask me about the halal tourism, I can also give some information for the halal tourism and cosmetic and media recreation. And of course, we have also a problem for the bank, and we have also the logistic side for the halal port, for the what we call transportation for the halal products and also services. This is the action plan. This is very too small. I mean, action plan to the new normal for the industry. And we have to reform, we have to invent with the new way of the business way, or business model. This for the industry. Yeah, and also for the government. We have also to have enhanced regulation with the virus prevention. And of course, we have to containment for the industry, for food, especially safety and dimensional also for food wastage and etc. Then this is action plan for the industry and also action plan for the government concerning for food, because I just mentioned to you, food is a very important one. But this also can be adapted for other sector like services, especially for the halal tourism or halal industry like cosmetic, etc. This is just knowledge to you, to knowledge sharing. We have the report. We work with the Dinas Standard, Indonesia Halal Economy and Strategy Roadmap. If you need, we can send to you, to Dekan, etc. We have also Economy Islamic Global before COVID, of course, 2019-2020, with the ringkasan executive. We translate from English to Bahasa Indonesia. And then Indonesia Halal Economy Strategy is still in English. And of course, I have a small book, what we call Halal Lifestyle Trend Global Peluang Business. This is also dedicated for everyone who want to be informed for the halal industry and services, right? This one. And the last one, www, 6 times, wabila taufik wal hidayah, wal afiat, that's very important, wal afiat, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think, ladies and gentlemen, Pak Rector and also a distinguished lecturer and rector, just my short presentation. I hope you can also enjoy it and you can learn something or have some information related to the halal industry. Of course, I'll be ready to answer your question or your remark or any inquiry from you. Thank you again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The floor I give back to Master of Ceremony. Please, Bu.
Thank you to Dr. Sapta Nirwandar for the knowledge of halalan issues on this pandemic corona situation. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come to our main program, the seminar session. This seminar will be led by our moderator, Mr. Agung Guritno, MPD. To Mr. Agung, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to annual International Conference on Islamic Economics and Business 2020, organized by Faculty of Islamic Economic and Business, State Institute for Islamic Studies Salatiga, and supported by IAIN, Ikatan Ahli Ekonomi Islam, International Institute of Islamic Thought, East and Southeast Asia, Triple IT, and especially for Professor Habib Hirzin, and also PT Asuransi Jasa Raharja Indonesia. I am Agung Guritno, and it is my honor to be your moderator for today's conference. First of all, I would like to thank to all the attendees from all over the world who are attending this virtual international conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very grateful because today we have three prominent speakers with us today. The first is Professor Dr. Irwandi Jaswir, and the second is Professor Dr. Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz, and the last but not least, Dr. Abdul Aziz Nugraha Pratama. Ladies and gentlemen, actually we plan this conference where all the speakers will present their paper or their material first, and then we will have the discussion time later. But due to the tight schedule of Professor Irwandi Jaswir, so we will make a little bit adjustment. Professor Irwandi Jaswir will present firstly for about 30 minutes, and then after that we will have a discussion, especially for Professor Irwandi Jaswir session for about 15 minutes, and then after that Professor Irwandi Jaswir will leave us, and then after that we will continue to the second and the third speaker. Okay, we apologize for this. Then I will read Professor Irwandi Jaswir curriculum vitae. Actually, this morning I received about 34 pages of curriculum vitae from Professor Irwandi Jaswir. Very multi-talented expert, I think. But I will read only a brief curriculum vitae. Professor Dr. Irwandi Jaswir, MSc. He is very well known as Professor Halal, and his educational background, he was graduated from Bogor Agricultural University, and then for the master from University Putra Malaysia, And for the doctoral degree from University Putra Malaysia with exchange program with University of British Columbia, Canada. And Professor Irwandi Jaswir, his current position right now, he is the Professor of Food Chemistry and Biochemistry in International Islamic University, Malaysia. He also an academic staff of Faculty of Pharmacy, Universitas Ahmad Dahlan, and then he also he was a former director and deputy dean of International Institute for Halal Research and Training, or INHART, International Islamic University Malaysia, and now he still hold the position as secretary of IIUM Council of Professor. Professor Irwandi Jaswir has also published many articles. If I'm not mistaken, there are at least 120 articles in scientific journal, 30 book chapters, and completed over 30 research projects and presented more than 250 papers in international conference. The last, in 2018, Professor Irwandi Jaswir has been awarded King Faisal Prize in Service to Islam for his outstanding service to Islam and Muslim. Okay, to shorten the time, Professor Irwandi, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, thank you, Bapak Moderator, for very, very nice introduction. To the organizing committee, IAIN Salatiga, thank you very much for inviting me to this very, very great event, international webinar conference on Halalan Thayyiban. Yang kami hormati juga Bapak Rector Profesor Zakiyuddin, Bapak Sapta Nirwandar, the keynote speaker who already delivered the very, very nice and comprehensive talk before this. And then I see here Professor Habib Khirzin. Assalamualaikum, Pak Habib. And all the audience, participants, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again for attending my lecture in very, very short presentations, about 25 minutes onwards. I will be delivering a talk on the halal industry, potential, challenges, opportunities, etc. Inshallah, I will start my share my screen. Okay. Okay, please let me know if you can see my slide now. Can you see my slide?
Not yet, Prof.
Not yet. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. You
Still in
see
the process.
now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes, we can see.
Okay. The halal industry opportunity. The title is halal industry opportunity and challenges. Again, my name is Irwandi Jaswir. I am now the professor at International Institute for Halal Research and Training, INHART, International Islamic University, Malaysia. I've been in this university for almost 20 years. And then in Malaysia, it's about 25 years now, since I came to Malaysia in the year 1994. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm an Indonesian. I graduated from Institute Pertanian Bogor, IPB, now IPB University. when we talk about halal, yeah, I will start my presentation with this slide. In 2018, I've been invited to Korea, South Korea, for 2 events. On 25th of April, I was invited to deliver my talk in front of 25 members of parliament, together with the staff, it's about 40 to 50. So the right side is my picture was taken in the National Assembly building, National Assembly building in South Korea, in Seoul. It is a parliament building, so I'm talking in front of members of parliament, di depan anggota DPR, So what, this is my first time delivering my talk. Minta maaf ada yang masih ini this is my first time to talk in front of members of parliament, not in Jakarta, not in Kuala Lumpur, but in Seoul. Mohon ada yang ini yang bisa audionya di mute dulu. And then I was invited to talk about halal meat and poultry. So for South Korea, they have already established meat industry. They produce very, very good quality, high quality meat, and they realize that why Australia and New Zealand can become the leaders in the halal meat production. Why not Korea? So this is this kind of arguments would be the reason for them to invite me. 2 days later, on 27 April, I was invited again to talk in front of students in Dong University, located in Busan, 3 hours train from Seoul. Dong is the largest private university. And then I was delivering my talk in front of 250 students, taking MBA with majoring in Muslim-friendly hospitality and tourism. It is very, very interesting. There is a process program in South Korea, whereby in the year 2018, I didn't see any program in Indonesia offering MBA dalam bidang wisata syariah. And it was offered by Dong University. This triggers us and then give us kind of something to think deeply why the country like South Korea is so serious in developing of halal industry. When we look at this now, the issue of halal, halal is different from what we understood in the past. Traditionally, we know halal as a food process, in the related to beverages, related to halal, organic and non-organic ingredients, logistics, etc. But nowadays, it is more than that. It also involves cosmetics, personal care, healthcare, production, tourism services, even though we know that it is one of the sectors that got very, very severely affected. And then modest fashion, and many other sectors, and included in the halal industry nowadays. So when we look at that, those who play in halal industry, the big players, mostly are non-Muslim countries. Australia and New Zealand are largest producers of halal meat. Brazil is largest producers of halal poultry. Ayam halal paling banyak dari Brazil. And then Thailand in this region enjoy very, 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 very big revenue from the halal industry, even though only 5% Muslim in Thailand. And we are not talking yet about the European countries, American countries, etc. So halal is beyond the religious matters. Halal is about lifestyle now, as mentioned by Pak Sapta just now, and halal is about the quality of life. Yeah. If we can produce halal product and services together with the quality one, I mean the halal and quality products and services, and then these products and services can be enjoyed by not only Muslim but also the entire mankind. I mean Muslim and non-Muslim. This is the figures about the size of the halal market. It's about 3.1 trillion, and half of that goes to non-food. So don't think that the food is majority. No, non-food is the biggest one. Under non-food, it includes cosmetics, personal care, pharmaceutical. Alhamdulillah, now in Indonesia, according to the Undang-Undang Nomor 33 Tahun 2014, all food and services circulated in Indonesia must be halal. Yeah, so and then we can see the implication later on is to the size of this market. For food, it's only less than half, less than quarter. Yeah, and the rest are the services, which include logistics, tourism, banking, etc. This is a picture of halal ecosystem. Yeah, halal ecosystem. The thing that I copied this from Malaysian framework. The thing that is different from what my experience living in Malaysia and then involved in halal sectors here compared to the Indonesian sectors is in Malaysia, they already have established halal ecosystem from the production, services, infrastructure, human capital, and government support. When we talk about the human capital, in Malaysia, for example, many universities are offering programs from diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD in the halal related field. Yeah, so they really prepare the manpower, human resources in the halal industry. Similarly, with the government support, most of the agency, Malaysian government, ministries, etc., they have one unit related to halal. For example, in the Ministry of Research, for example, the halal keywords, the keywords of halal is one of the priority when we when we look for the research grant, for example. So that's why in the past 20 years, for example, when we apply research grants, and then we include halal as a keywords, and then the chance or probability to get the grant approved is much higher. So similarly to services, now there are 2 halal ports being established in Malaysia. Halal ports here, pelabuhan halal is something which is very comprehensive concept. And many state government also established the halal park. And then the production, yeah, from halal food, pharmaceutical ingredient, cosmetic, etc. And more importantly is the halal research and development, which is at the foundation for the halal industry. Without a strong R&D, it is impossible for us to develop a better halal industry. So this is a global Muslim spend. I do not want to you can see the figures. It's very huge figures actually, and this is an opportunity for everyone. We do not want Indonesia just become a market, just become a market all the time. We do not have a power. We do not become the key players in world halal industry. So from now on, I think it's time for us to give more focus on the halal development of halal industry. We have now KNEKS, Committee National Economic Keuangan Syariah. The one part of the task is to develop halal industry. We have to give a support for them, even though it's a bit late, yeah, compared to other countries. But it is we never say too late, yeah, for something good. And then please focus on our halal industry. Second is that halal certification, of course, part and a parcel of that halal industry, but do not give too much effort to that, so that all our energy spent for development of certification only. And then to settle this issue, where many years we spend our effort for halal certification only, but at the same time we had to develop halal industry, because the one that can give improvement to our economy is the halal industry. This is also the reason why Malaysia become #1, because the support from the government is very good. I think just now that Dr. Sapta already showed this slide, and we kindly donated by Dina Standard the day that halal food got a less impact, cosmetic, medium, and also tourism is the more severe one. This is just an example, but of course, every time we got problems, there must be an opportunity in that situation. So halal industry is not exceptional. So there is a big opportunity still, yeah. Even though the pandemic, we are facing very terrible pandemic since end of last year. When we talk about the halal lifestyle just now, I just want to give you one example. In Korean cosmetic, how they're really serious developing of the halal industry. I'm not biased why I always talking about Korea, and nothing special, but we just have a collaboration with them, and we have a kind of office branch. Our institute got a branch, and I'm the chairman for Korea in Halal Certification Authority. Yeah. And from my own experience, our staff is to go to Korea almost every 2 months to educate the people, the industry, and then to give them certification. In Korea, there are more than 2,000 cosmetics labels. They are cosmetic companies, and they are now already one of the main player in the world cosmetic share. Yeah, world cosmetic market. Now, under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs in Korea, Korean cosmetics are encouraged to get into halal. If I'm not mistaken, more than 90 companies already are registered with our institute for the certification. And what this indicates that how serious they are to penetrate the Muslim market. To penetrate the Muslim market. The largest Korean cosmetic Amore already opened the factory, yeah, in Johor Bahru, Malaysia. They're already groundbreaking already. Yeah. So definitely the target is Indonesia, Malaysia, yeah, and also neighboring countries, yeah, and not forgetting Saudi or Middle East. Another issue, just example here. Last year, I went to one of the village here, remote area in Seoul. There's one village that produce this kind of lime, yeah, this kind of lime. And then instead of consuming this, you know, the 400 farmers there in Korea, and then in this village, and then the government support them, the farmers. The government support the farmers with 2 biofermenters. This is the technology already influenced the halal industry. What for the 2 fermenters? Number one is to ferment, to do a fermentation from this lime into alcohol. The second fermenters from alcohol into vinegar. Yeah. So by having so, they can, from this lime, they can produce a various type of vinegar, vinegar for diet, vinegar for drinks, vinegar for cooking, etc. Yeah, and then interestingly, from this village, this small village, the farmers can export the vinegars to 46 Muslim countries. Just imagine, 46 Muslim countries. And then I happened to ask them, one of the farmers, why you sent to the Muslim countries? And they said the Muslim countries like vinegar very much because it is mentioned in hadith. Yeah, it is mentioned as the vinegar is one of the remedies for diseases. It means that, and the Korean, the non-Muslim read our hadith, and then they come up with the industry. They develop the industry, something that we can learn from them. Yeah. Just forget about the controversy of halal certification, whether BPJPH, whether LPPOM. Just give our effort to develop our halal industry, develop our UMKM, develop of our SMEs, etc. We have a lot of potentials, something that we can produce and then we can export to many other countries. And this is just example how we do this in Korea, mostly apart from cosmetic, pharmaceuticals, and also supplements. Yeah. Similarly, in Japan, they supposed to organize Olympic 2020, but due to COVID, it is postponed to next year. But since 2014, 2013, Japan already prepared themselves for halal friendly or Muslim friendly host as an Olympic. The reason for them is that they said to us during our training, because at the time we conduct various type of training in Tokyo. I still remember every time we conducted the training, at least 400, 500 people turn up. Yeah, from the industry, from the hotel, from the restaurant, etc. Yeah. So what they said to us that 1/3 of the visitors during the Olympic 2021 next year, inshallah, are Muslim, and they need to entertain. So the reason behind that, of course, the business opportunity. In China as well, we happen to visit various locations in China. This is in Pingliang. There is one halal hub there, established by one great Muslim businessman. So, mashallah, they really focus on this to get all the product from China, halal product, and then distribute to the world, and then collect various product from all over the world, and then for the China consumption. This is something interesting. And we thought that in China there is no such halal products, but there is a halal business there. Also in Taiwan, even though it's a small country, but they're very strong in agriculture and fisheries, and they invited me just to enlighten them with the potential of the halal industry. What about in Saudi? Saudi now they awaken. Yeah, because in the past in Saudi, even the certification, they do not have any institution. Yeah, everything that already approved by the custom to get into Saudi is considered halal. Yeah, and then during our research study, we found that some of them not halal. Yeah, that's why now Saudi is very strict. And then already established not only halal certification body, but also the halal research and development. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about halal from the academic perspective, normally we look at these three issues. Yeah, halal materials, raw materials, halal processing, and authentication. Okay. And then as we know that halal concept is holistic. Yeah, very holistic from A to Z, from farm to plate. Yeah, it must be halal. But we know that if you are with a scientific background of chemistry or biology or food science, biotechnology, you know that in every step of this processing, there is possibility for non-halal contamination. Yeah, For example, the permitted the animals, whether the slaughtering is according to Islam or not, whether the stunning is allowed or not, whether the stunning is over the dose or not, yeah, something like that. When it comes to processing, cross-contamination, we visited one place in France where they produce gelatin. 1 month they produce halal gelatin, the next month they produce non-halal gelatin from pig. So they rotate every month. So it is contamination using the same equipment and apparatus. And then also ingredients, yeah, this is a critical point. The ingredients in food science, because my background is a food science, more than 500 types of ingredients are available and used by the food industry. This can you imagine? Some of them are used in very, very small quantities, part per million even, or part per billion. And then, but very, very critical to the halal products. Yeah, pig and its byproduct, for example, pork, or lard or fat from pig, or gelatin, a protein from pig. Enzyme, the use of rennet, for example, in making cheese, pepsin, and other enzyme, trypsin, used by the beverages industry. Emulsifier, to mix up water and fat, and mostly derived from fat, because if the cheapest fat is lard, and then there is a possibility that we consume emulsifier. We use emulsifier from pig as well. And also intoxicant, blood, GMO and GMF if the media containing non-halal substances. From this animal, I think we always have presented this. Almost all part of this animal has been used for industry, yeah, including hair. Yeah, hair can be used to produce cysteine. Cysteine is used widely in the bakery industry. Skin and bone are used to produce gelatin, and 60 to 65% of gelatin worldwide are derived from this animal, and it is non-halal. And 90% from halal animal, but the slaughtering process could be questionable or cross-contamination. Another issue, for example, halal placenta. Yeah, I visited one place in Hiroshima in Japan, and placenta is used widely in cosmetic industry as anti-aging. So normally placenta is used in the cream, yeah, for outer layer, outer or external use. One day when we visited, and then I saw that it is from pig. When I asked them what kind of brand, and then they cannot disclose, yeah, because it is the confidential issues. So, but be careful if you buy placenta, especially for ladies, for sisters, because placenta is very, very sellable. Yeah, in Malaysia, if there is a lotion with placenta, and then easily they can sell the products. Yeah, that's why authentication become very, very important. This is what we have done in Malaysia. We use various type of instrumental based analysis, yeah, from infrared, electronic noise, differential scanning, PCR, yeah, for DNA analysis, etc., etc. It is just example. You see, lard is non-halal, and the rest are halal, and the pattern are different. Yeah, in molecular PCR, we can use this is most reliable technique, I think, and then you can see if the chicken, beef, they both are halal, and then the graph is very, very flat. But if there is pork, and then you increase here, so you can see significantly. Yeah, and then we also conducted a study on the alcohol and khamar. Khamar is haram. Yeah, no matter the quantity is. If it is this one hadith said, if it is halal in big quantities, the small quantities also halal. Sorry, if it is haram in big quantities, the small quantities also haram. But if alcohol or industrial ethanol is derived from petrochemical pathway, and then according to fatwa, it can be used as solvent up to 0.5% in Indonesia, yeah, as long as it is not detectable in the final product. So we study this and whether we can analyze this. We use a gas chromatography, GCG CTOF-MS. Yeah. For those who like this, and then you can contact me directly after the presentation. So this is a common critical ingredients of pharmaceutical. For example, placenta, as I mentioned, gelatin and collagen. Similarly, gelatin and collagen is very, very much needed now because when the age increase and then our body collagen production reduce. Yeah, gelatin pharmaceutical mostly is very, very critical because for capsule, for example, 60% of the capsule is gelatin. So we mean that we need gelatin to produce a capsule up to 60%. That's why we conducted a lot of study on gelatin. This is what I have done in the last 15 years with a gelatin study with Universitas Indonesia. Kami memproduksi gelatin dari kulit kambing etawa. Yeah, we got a patent by Universitas Indonesia. And then camel gelatin dengan King Saud University, we established a very, very big project, and inshallah they will produce the established manufacturing process in Jeddah. And then we also study now a lot of study on nanoparticles because halal gelatin nanoparticles now the era of nanotechnology. Yeah, but we use the halal material. This is ethanol we study using for most wash electronic NOS. Electronic NOS basically we work based on the volatile or based on the smell of the non-halal contamination. This is our camel gelatin project in Saudi, you see, and then this is our pilot plant of gelatin in Malaysia. Yeah, so this is our study, research study. Bromelain, yeah, because it is a big issue, and then what our staff study here, they replace rennet from animal with the bromelain from pineapple. Not only that, we just use a DNA of bromelain in pineapple, and then we transfer into E. coli, and then we produce the bromelain in our laboratory. So we do not affect the market of the pineapple at all. Yeah, and then from that we produce our cream cheese, and it's already available in the supermarket. Also, we come up with idea to utilize our marine sources. This is, for example, marine seaweed, yeah, and because marine seaweed got this characteristic, yeah, from our research studies, yeah, antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, inflammatory, obesity, etc. Yeah, for anti-obesity, you can see this. White adipose tissue is tissue that is responsible for obese in animal. Yeah, so the left side, the white one is we thought seaweed, Indonesian seaweed, and the right one is with seaweed. So you see, if we add with seaweed, so the size of white adipose tissue remain the same, while the white one growing up. Yeah, so meaning that this can be used as the anti-obesity. Obesity is one of the issue in most of the developing countries, including Indonesia. And the government spent a lot of money for this disease. Yeah, I got this Habibi Award in Medicine and Biotechnology 2013 for this kind of research. This is our laboratory, our halal certified. No, halal certified. Our ISO certified halal laboratory. Yeah. We work together with Zakiyuddin. Also, from time to time, we educate people through media in Malaysia, a lot of program to enhance the awareness of the halal of the society. Yeah, and then also send to newspaper. I write the article. Yeah, for example, here the issue harmonizing halal standard. Yeah, every country got their own standard, which is sometimes confusing to industries. Yeah. Lastly, this is halal purification practice. One of our study also, we developed this how to conduct the samak. Samak means we cleanse, Islamic cleansing. Yeah, we conduct study. Samak if you wash 7 times and then 1 time with clay or soil. So how we do this in practice? If it is a small object, is fine. But if it is big, like store or container, and then the storage, yeah, so it will be difficult. So we do this, yeah, with application in the Port Klang that the day. First is we produce tahara. Yeah, this is a soap that contain clay inside. So you don't have to get clay. You don't have to get soil if you have touch najis mughallazah here. Okay, and then this is what we study, and then we come up with the spray. Of course, this is my friend from engineering, yeah, to have this, and then very, very tricky and challenging because you have to spray inside there is a soil, a clay. So it is very, very developed, it's very carefully developed. Yeah. And then, ladies and gentlemen, before I end my presentation, I would like to introduce, this is my journal, International Journal of Halal Research. The second issues, the second volume has been released this June. And then for those who have research related to halal, not necessarily from science background, but non-science also fine. We welcome you to submit your journal, to your article to this journal. Yeah, you can find ijhalal.org. And then finally, this is my biography, just published by Gramedia Jakarta, and it is available in all the Gramedia bookstore, and also online. Yeah, see left side is Bapak Meristek Brain, Bapak Professor Bambang. This is a businessman, yeah, Bang Sandi, and this is a artist. Yeah, they try to promote my book because they're one of the readers of the books. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, this is my last slide. My pictures when I received King Faisal International Prize, as mentioned just now by the moderator. I got the award 2018. Handed over by Honorable King Salman, yeah, and then this is the first time for they recognize my work related to halal science in the last 20 years. With that, I end my presentation. Terlebih terkurang mohon maaf. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Irwandi Jaswir, for the very, very valuable material. Professor Irwandi told us about the development of halal industry in some neighboring countries like Korea, Japan, China, Taiwan, and Saudi Arabia. Okay, Professor Irwandi, we hope that you are able to answer some questions from the participants. Maybe I will read the question one by one, and then you may answer one by one also, Prof. It's okay, Prof?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The first question from Aye Sudarto, yeah. Have halal standards been agreed in all countries? Have halal standards been agreed in all countries? Maybe.
Okay. You mean whether the standard is uniform or something like that?
Yes, it is. Maybe. How about the halal issue? Is it acceptable from all of the? Yeah.
Okay, I got the question. I think the question is why do not have one single halal standard in the world, right?
Yes.
The reason is that I do not know exactly what the reason, but the fact is that every country got their own halal certification, their own halal standard. Some countries, even Japan, they got more than 10 halal standards. So I think this is the time for us to rethink the future direction of halal certification. Why why can we not unify? Yeah, we have OIC as an organization. Why not try to work together? And then I think the countries already sit together, and because every year there is a halal certification meeting in many places, in Kuala Lumpur, in Turkey, in Thailand. But until now, we still do not have halal single halal or unified or united halal certification body. Something this is to me is look weird because we just cannot work together. The issue is that the implications. I got a question from my non-Muslim friends. For example, recently one friend of mine would like to export their cosmetic to Indonesia. She got already the halal certification from Malaysia, and when she want to enter Indonesia market, she was asked to get another certification from LPPOM. And then she asked me whether Islam in Indonesia and Malaysia are different or what. So this is something that we have to think. Yeah, the image of Islam, this is must be placed above others here. If ISO can be a single standard worldwide, why not halal? Yeah, you may say that, oh, we have a different mazhab here and there, but it is just the differences only very, very little. We can put some notes in our certification, etc. Just the mechanism need to be discussed here. This is the reason why I wrote the article, the harmonizing halal standard. This is the topic is about that issue, and then I published in Berita, in the Jakarta Post. It is an English medium newspaper. Only that. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Prof. And then the second question, Prof. How to ask for approval from overseas halal certification agencies, and specifically in Indonesia? What institutions provide them? Are there independent international institutions that create ISO standards, Prof?
Again. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. How to ask for approval from overseas halal certification agencies, and specifically in Indonesia? What institutions provide them? And then are there independent international institutions that can create ISO standards? Yeah. This is from Bapak Lubis Effendi. Yeah.
Okay. Terima kasih for the question. Every country got a different rules and regulations. Countries that Muslim is a majority, and then the halal is governed by the governments or by the authority. Yeah? For example, Indonesia, halal is by LPPOM, used to be by LPPOM, and now given to BPJPH, and now it's still, I do not know whether return back to LPPOM in the implementation or what. It is BPJPH is government, and then LPPOM is non-government. Yeah, different from Malaysia. It is under JAKIM. JAKIM is government body. Yeah, under Kementerian Agama. Yeah, JAKIM is under Kementerian Agama. So in this country like Indonesia or Malaysia, the certification body is only one single entity. Yeah, one single entity, but different from other countries. Some other countries, like I mentioned in Japan, more than 10 certification bodies, and all of them are private. Similarly, in Korea, there is one organization, KMF, Korean Muslim Federation. They have a certification. Okay. So, but other than that, other than KMF, there are also various certification bodies, and it is allowed in those countries. Is allowed because it's like a company. You can establish the certification body. It's like as long as you have capacity. Yeah. So to where and to whom you apply depends on what certificate you want to get. If you want to get from JAKIM, yeah, you have to apply from JAKIM. It's online, everything online. You want to apply from LPPOP, or in Japan, for example, you want to get from NAHA or from other certification body. Yes, it's up to you. And then I think each of these certification, there is a website and the way for you to apply. What now existing in the halal scenario is that some of these certification body are recognized by other countries, meaning that from KMF, for example, recognized by JAKIM in Malaysia. If you have the KMF certificate, then your product can be marketed in Malaysia. It's something like that. Yeah. So you need to apply one by one. Yeah, and then you need to know whether this certification is applied in other country. If it is not, you have to apply another certification. But this is what I mentioned in the to respond the first question. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prof. Next question, Prof. Halal analysis did on 3 parts, namely material, process, and product. And some industry do that by choosing one. According to your opinion, what should we government do for supporting halal lifestyle?
Yeah, the first and foremost to me is to enhance the awareness. Yeah, actually awareness is not only responsibility of the government. It could be by the university, IIN, for example. You can do training. You can do enhance the awareness of the society about halal, because when the society more aware about halal, and the industry will go to get the certification. The second one is I really appreciate if the government can invest a lot on the halal research and development. Halal industry, as I mentioned in my presentation, would be weak if they are not supported by the strong foundation in halal research and development. So most of the halal, research and development should be established in the universities, and the government should support this through research fund, through facilities, through manpower, for example, sharing facilities, sharing policy, and etc. A lot of things can be done there, because otherwise we will be a market only for the halal business, and this is irony for Indonesia. We are big Muslim countries, but at the same time we are also big market for the other people to come. So if we have to change a little bit, from now, inshallah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Irwandi and all the attendees. I explained before that actually Prof. Irwandi has another very important agenda after this. So I think the discussion session is enough. Prof, there are still many questions. Then how could we reach you, Prof? Is there perhaps?
Pak Saiful got my contact, and then just give it to him, and then he will forward the question to me, inshallah.
Okay. Yeah, because there are still many questions actually, but we know that you have a very tight schedule. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I have a class after this in Malaysia. We have a class still on.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Irwandi. See you next time.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, then we will move on to the second speaker. He is Professor Dr. Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz. Let me read briefly his curriculum vitae. Dr. Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz is a professor and currently the Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, International Islamic University, Malaysia. He is also a quality consultant to the Organization of Islamic Countries, or OIC, and he is also a senior quality assurance consultant for Islamic Development Bank, or IDB. Also technical expert to the Organization of Islamic Countries. And then actually Professor Dr. Hasanuddin has many important positions. Another position is academic assessor to the Malaysian Qualification Agency, and then executive member of the Committee for Best Practices among Public Universities in Malaysia, and also executive member of the Committee for the Networking of Quality Director of Public Universities in Malaysia. Okay, Professor Dr. Hasanuddin, if you are ready, and then the floor is yours.
Moderator, Mr. Agung.
Yes.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can you hear me?
Salam. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Prof. Yes.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Anton, the Dean, Director. This trying times, we invitation. Because the invitation was way beyond before the COVID, and it is an honor to be able to participate and to share. The topic which was given to me is Halalan Thayyiban and Happiness in Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0.
Yes.
So you see the current situation in the country today is that the development and the technological change, innovation is ongoing. This technological and business innovation is nothing new, but the changes that are coming may be of a speed and the size that is unprecedented. Over the history of mankind, we cannot deny that the technological developments in businesses and industry brought about social economic changes and transformation through what we call industrial revolutions. So way back in the 18th century, the first industrial revolution with the invention of commercial steam, that is the steam power, which happened in Great Britain, enables communication and transportation transformation. And the second industrial revolution was the electricity power, which transformed the communication sector, which makes it enable the usage of telephones on real time and all other mass productions. The third industrial revolution was the introduction of the internet usage for economic and business purposes. The arrival of personal computer, most of us have got these PCs, dramatically changed the way we do things. Before the personal computers, we were very active in sending letters, postal services, but after the most of us were using emails, web searches, online shopping. And during the COVID crisis time, we see that there was a drastic jump in the utilization and usage of the gig economy. Most of the people were quarantined in Malaysia, for example, around for 90 odd days, they were quarantined. But the ordering of food, the delivery of food was still going on, even though the whole place was under curfew like. So the personal computer evolved to mini personal computer. The smartphone which being so the fourth industrial revolution is the you can see what actually happened is that the touch screen, the microprocessors, the mobile phone. Now the next wave of innovation, the fourth industrial revolution. And you can see the artificial intelligence, the automation, the wireless connectivity, the era of Internet of Things, and then into smart knowledge and system. So what actually we see in the fourth industrial revolution is the advancement of technology in digital, physical, and biological realms, which change us and practically everything around us at an incredible speed. So Industry 4.0 emerged in Germany in 2011 in the quest to apply digital computer technologies to production. So Industry 4.0 is in actual fact an integration between technology, virtual space, and human being, between the real world and the virtual world, resulting in a collaborative network that articulates intelligent robots, automated simulation, Internet of Things, cloud computing, additive manufacturing, and big data analytics. So when you see the attention of this fourth industrial revolution, what you see is that there is a drastic change in the economic front. The attention is always focused on economic and technological dimension. Why is it so? That is how we have been indoctrinated. How to make possible growth, how to make more money. Therefore, fourth industrial revolution was trying to cut costs, trying to make production more efficient, and this kind of technical advancement and innovation succeed truly with emphasis and which succeeded from the economic perspective. But now we see that this has brought about a lot of challenges. The fourth industrial revolution and all those other development in the industrial sector and in the economy was always emphasizing and has contributed a lot of inequalities among the participants. And there is a lot of gaps between the rich and the poor. And all this didn't bring about true happiness, true success of what it should be. So what we actually need is technical advancement and innovation will succeed truly if we have emphasis and combination to social perspective. Innovation should enlighten the people. They should address not only the profit, but they should also address the planet and the people. So all this industrial revolution, and you can see that it has affected the environment. It has affected the situation which we went through during the COVID, the 3 months. It should actually make us to ponder, make us to think. When everything stopped, nothing moved, how the earth getting back, like a sick person coming to health. This is because failure of businesses. They succeeded in Industry 4.0. They didn't pay attention to the planet, to the people. It was only profit. So now they would succeed better if both the social progress and economic benefits are tight, are to be considered, to be looked upon in such a manner that we should not neglect the real factor of why all this development is required, why all this progress for. We need to go back to the basic question. So in this context, what happened was that from the social perspective is the emergence of Society 5.0. The concept of Society 5.0 emerged in 2015 in Japan. So looking back, so Society 5.0 came about, but before that, if you see how human history has been, you will be able to define different stages to societies. Society 1.0, you can define it as groups of people hunting and gathering in harmonious coexistence with nature. These people thrive on nature. They take good care of the nature. They hunt to fulfill their hunger. They are not greedy because there is no necessity to go and kill and destroy the earth just to make money, because at that time their needs were not that. So the harmonious coexistence with the nature, but their life was very medium, not that Then once the people settle down, what we call the society 2.0, it formed groups based on agricultural cultivation. So this enables people to be stationed in one place. This enables people to work in a kind of brings about nation building as what you see today. Different nation, different strength. Everybody trying to do something which will be able to meet the needs of. But what do we see that this to society zero from agriculture-based economy, we went and promoted industrialization. So industrialization through industrial revolution, making mass production. This makes the people to be just like workers in a factory line, where the emphasis is mostly on profit making. The owners are making profit and take care of the people. Mass production of 3 point of the third industrial revolution. Before that, use but profits went up. Then most of these earnings, most of these gains was not shared to the people. People's gap between the rich and the poor becomes much more wider. Then now we are then in society 4.0, this is an information society. This is an information society that realizes increased added value by connecting intangible assets as information networking. So what actually happened? Information is very important. Data are important. Data is important. So all this until society 1, 2, 3, 4 is an evolution. Now society 5.0 is trying to make the center of the society to be human-centric society. Not only we want to emphasize on economic development, but the resolution of societal challenges are to be achieved. And people can enjoy a high quality of life that is fully active and comfortable. So in Society 5.0, which came about from Japan, where they realized currently Japan, their labor force is shrinking because the are getting a larger percentage. People are living longer, and then on top of that, also there is a strain on the most of the infrastructure is also already where it was built during the high economic growth from 1950 to 1970. But now most of the infrastructure are deteriorating. So what actually is happening is that the social cost is increasing because of the social security cost is increasing because the old age is also on the rise. More people are being in the pensionable scheme. Most people have to be taken care of. So in Society 5.0, they came to realize that what the future should be. it is like what we call the imagination kind of society, whereby it has to be not only growth, making money, profit at the expense of the people, at the expense of the real needs of the people. And who are the real needs of the people? You need to understand the demographic in which you are staying. So Society 5.0, which is being promulgated now, is being been initialized in the Japan. But what the Japanese authorities are saying, that this Society 5.0 can be a kind of formulation to all parts of the world. So what they are trying to emphasize is, when you want to build the society, you need not ape what others want it to be. You need not be, you want to be developed like a developed nation, you want to be developed and you just copy them, you will not be successful. Your needs, your people have to be given emphasis. So if we see how they want to formulate this society, we see how it should be infused with Islamic teachings. What? Because most of the, like Indonesia, for example, the largest Muslim population, more than 87% are Muslims. So that society which we want to formulate, it should reflect the needs and the strength of the people of the nation. It shouldn't be just aping, we want to be developed. The COVID crisis shows us how we thought United States of America having the best health facilities, how it collapsed. Thousands of people, billions of people, and thousands of people admitted. The hospital cannot even provide the minimum. People die. Therefore, aping other nations, for us to be like what they are, we will fail in the sense that we didn't appreciate and strengthen our strength. So if you see, like, for example, in Turkey, for example, when the President Erdogan revert back Hagia Sophia to be a masjid, that is what the people, the society needs. But if you ask the developed nation or the Europeans, they will be disagreeing. But it's none of their business. We should take care. We should build according to our norms, our values, which is most of us are Muslim, and it should be ingrained with Islamic ways of doing things. So what actually Society 5.0 is trying to work is the fusion of cyberspace and the real world, physical space, and to generate quality data, and from there create new values and solutions to resolve challenges, in according to our needs. So we need to understand Islam, when it came about, first and foremost, the first word is Iqra, read, meaning to say emphasis to data, emphasis to information is very, very vital. But the Muslim world today has already like more constant and chasing after like a rainbow, chasing after things which you are not going to get, because these are not from us. These are taught to us by the Western, so-called Western civilization, and the COVID has proven that how the Western civilization is collapsing. But still, if we want to look at them to solve our health problem, to solve our way of life, we will be losers. So now with this Society 5.0, the goals are consistent to those of the SDGs, and most of the Sustainable Development Goals, these are whatever has been prescribed to us since Fitrah. If you see how the Prophet and the Sahaba built the first city when they went to Medina, it reflected what is the needs of the people, not the needs of somebody where we want to ape. They were building the masjid, the bazaar. These all are according to the values which we prescribe. This is how to go about. And by so doing, the society should also reflect the Maqasid Sharia is to realize society, enjoy life to the fullest. Society 5.0, as I've mentioned to you, as an imagination society. This is not something which want to put emphasis not only on economics, not only at hand, not to hurt anyone. These are the teachings of Islam. Give a smile. That is to make sure there is happiness around. So we are not just blindly to chase until we do not understand our neighbors, our neighborliness. Neighborliness is not only those who are living next to us, but even in the office, our neighbors, our friends. We must make sure that we do and act in the best interest of all, not to be selfish or greedy. Technological progress should bring about for us to be happy and live life to the full. Ask around and ask how many of us are happy. Most of us will be saying that they are living in debt. That is what the American society is all about. And if we go and try to formulate and try to be a society like the West is more or less debt-driven, which is antithesis to Islamic way of life. Islamic way of life is to live within what we have and to make sure that everybody has got a good living without any kind of hatred, any kind of arrogance on our part. So the sharing, the societal is becoming very important. Not to say the industrial 4.0 and all this is not helping. This helps us because it makes us to be efficient. But the problem here is the values which we derive from all this achievement has been put in a manner which is not what it not should be. So if you see happiness, the way of life in Islam is the reflected in our daily life. The art of living, the purpose of our existence will be how close we are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how close are we with the creations of Allah, human beings. But how many of us do understand how to assist and to live with all our achievement? In reality, we can see in statistics that the widening of the rich and the poor, widening of the income, more and more people driven into poverty, more and more people are so rich and extravagant that they waste. And these are what we say not to be in the society which we want to formulate. And the society which the Japanese is trying to do is really trying to address at this moment what is the need, not to just follow blindly to what other people want us to be. It is the true index to ask, will this bring me closer to Allah through happiness? The ultimate goal in life is to be happy, is to make sure that those living around us are happy, not to be in a situation of animosity. We pursue this goal in all manners of ways, be it through leisure, career, which has become rich, is through failure to do what is best for the planet, failure to do what is best for the human being. You can see today, why is it that there are so much destruction in the world today? Why there is climate change, for example? Why there is so much? Because initially all those who went and funded all these industries make it such that bankers and so on and so forth, they were going for profit. This was the easier. Now we are trying to say do not use plastic. How did plastic come about in the first place? Plastic come about in the first place is how all these firms being financed by the bankers, how they have provided the necessary funds for them to be producing this, and every bit of it, those which are rich in copper, rich in iron, rich in tin mine, everybody went and substituted it with plastic. But plastic is not degradable. This has destroyed the planet. Only now we realize how much damage it has done. The 3 months which we were under curfew, the COVID crisis, is a time for us to muhasabah, time for us to ask, this is what the society which we have built. So this is a chance. This is a very important moment for us as Muslims to look within us and ask ourselves and our decision makers to make sure that the society is built upon the teachings of Islam. So the ultimate goal to be happy to others mentioned. So development should be human-centric, pursuing true goals and long-lived happiness, and also how to for us to be close to whatever has been the teachings from the Al-Quran. As development is a journey and not a destination, development will go on. People will still be thinking, intellectual thinking, making things to be much more easier, much more efficient, much more effective, because that is not the end. It's not the destination. And happiness, and for us to be close to Allah, is also a journey. Obstacles and failures are part of life. But that doesn't mean that we have to give it up, or we have to just surrender. So happiness is not the destination too, but it's a journey. And this enables us to see in this situation of IR 4.0, society 5.0, and we need to see Muslim population is projected to reach 2 line, representing 25.2% worldwide population. So this reflects increasing needs of halal consumption in all aspects of lifestyle. So our market is huge, but Muslims in this industry, how many of them are playing the major role? We are very, very minor in the involvement in this industry as of now, even though we should be championing it upfront. So halal ventures are based on Sharia guideline, and it's to achieve the Maqasid Sharia. What is it to our preservation of religion, life, intellectual property, and property. So both halal, permissible, and Thayyiban good need to be present in all our ventures from the Islamic perspective. So when we say applies to consumer producers and product, and also Prof. Irwandi and also the special, the keynote, I've addressed this. But we must understand that we are not talking only about consumption of halal. We are talking of the whole spectrum. The whole spectrum have to be addressed. The whole spectrum meaning to say from the raw material itself, how we extract them, what is our values which we need, must be addressed. The supply chain, and until it's consumed, what we add to, we need to understand whether all these are in whatever has been prescribed by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So both halal and Thayyiban need to be present in all venture from an Islamic perspective. Applies to consumer producers and the product. The industries have to attain good, beneficial, helpful, and nice regarding the habits and attributes spiritual. So with the fourth industrial revolution, with all these data, with their stomach empty, but we cannot have a system to ensure that they are all be taken care of, because the society which has been built is in such a manner that it is not able for us to communicate as what it should be, as been ordained by our religion. We have to bear in mind, all the knowledge and data without wisdom is useless and can even cause harm. And you can see how great inventions which is been abused, it has been brought destruction to the planet, to us, to the human people. The role of knowledge and information are just enablers and not an end. It is Islam requests her followers to be guided in all activities in honesty. So in this way, Islam provides a wide scope of opportunities to Muslims to gain profit by doing good deeds to other mortals, such ethical activities and honesty in business. So you see, in businesses also, Islam emphasizes honesty, ethical, and there are many stories about it. But how is it reflected in today's society? Because when in today's society, if you go and follow the American way, the American or the financial system is driven by greed and fear. Greed, and you can see how destructions of financial system, crisis in the financial institution because they are not based upon what has been ordained by our religion. And if we just blindly follow this, the society we will build, we will not be able to have what a society which the Prophet has ordained or have shown to us in when he was building up Medina during the early stages and also during the Caliphate. So the society built should reflect an act of piety towards the Almighty with utmost honesty and with the objective of serving the society. Well, and you can see also all those Islamic social finance which have been ordained, like for example, zakat. This is to make sure that those who need will be able to be eligible to get in honor, not those in need to be given in a manner that they are not deserving, but they have been ordained by the religion to be given this portion. Asnaf has been identified. Why? Because during the great golden age of Islam, there was a time where no recipient of zakat is around. Only you collect zakat because the whole economy has been improved in such an extent that all are givers, no more takers. So this is a society, it can be done if we address it in the teachings of what Islam is all about. So, well, also, and then also to make sure there is exploitation free. That means there is no exploitation. You know, like for example, the current system of the riba system and so on and so forth. These are very exploitative in nature. When you need money, wherever you want to go, there are a situation which is not as what has been ordained by our teaching. So a society which we want to build should be a society like the society 5.0 we want to build, for example. It should not be deprived of the basic necessity of life. This is what Islam wants us to be, to make sure that the weak, the women, the child, the children are all taken care of in honor, in a way which is of quality. Wealth should not be concentrated in the hands of a few individuals. So this is to ensure that there is equality. There is no gap, a wide gap in such a way that you see sufferings in the society. Wealth should not be left idle, but used productively. You can see acres of land left idle, not being productively used. But at the same time, there are also labor which are unemployed. There is something mismatched. These are things which the society shouldn't be. So in the Muslim world, for example, if you have been traveling, you will see we have got huge land, not only huge land, a lot of mineral, but all this mineral has been given away by the multinational corporation, which is not going to benefit us. Why did we do that? But the future society should reflect what is our strength. It will also be balanced. A deed is important. It's a way of life. It's not only one side for the world, but we also need to balance it for our hereafter between economic and humanitarian objectives. Equal opportunity should be created for all to earn their legitimate income based on the potential and respective capability. Economic activity is to seek Allah's blessing for. And so, Halalan Thayyiban industry is a huge industry, which is also the need of the Muslim. So, if we seriously, constructively involve in this, develop it as what has been ordained, we will be in the position to be able to see progress in our society. So, in conclusion, we must consider what kind of society we wish to create, rather than trying to foresee the kind of society it will be. Because when you go through Industry 4.0, it will create a society which is based upon its value, not that we will have to accidentally accept that. But in a society of 5.0, is the imagination society of Japan. They want to create a society in accordance to using all those technological advancements for the betterment of their people, who are their people, and they know the demographic. So we too can visualize what should our society be, inclusive of Maqasid Sharia, Islamic virtues and goals, and we will have a very prosperous situation where the society hopefully reflects the society where the Prophet built in Mecca in the beginning of the Islamic years. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Hasanuddin, for the presentation. Then there are many interesting things. For example, like happiness is art of living. Yeah, and then if I may summarize your presentation, that maybe we should pursue the happiness in halal way. Perhaps like that, yeah, Prof. Hasanuddin. Okay, next presentation, we will have Dr. Abdul Aziz Nugraha Pratama as the third speaker. For Dr. Abdul Aziz Nugraha Pratama, if you are ready, then the floor is yours. Hello, Dr. Abdul Aziz? Are you here with us? Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, maybe you may maximize your voice, Doctor. Your voice is too low. Hello? Dr. Abdul Aziz? Okay, maybe we will open discussion session, Prof. Hasanuddin. Yeah, while we are waiting for the third speaker to answer the question directly. The first is from Mr. Fatur Rahman Azhari. The question is, in Indonesia, the population in the majority is Muslim. Of course, the provisions of Islamic law, such as food, clothing, in accordance with the provision of Islamic law, namely halal food and clothing that cover the genitals. But why more halal food, not halal certified? Yeah, why more halal food, not halal certified?
Okay. So that's why, as what Prof. Irwandi has mentioned, right? The
Yes.
authorities which has been assigned to do halal accreditation and so on and so forth, they should be making sure that they have got enough workforce to enable that to happen. Like for example, in Malaysia, for example, it is under Zakiyuddin. Zakiyuddin might not be understaffed. They might not be able to do a job which they should be doing, or they should be effective and efficient in how they want to handle this. In halal certification is not only the food consumption. As I mentioned, it's a spectrum from the beginning till the end. The quality assurance control also should make sure the halal is at every junction of production. So this is a challenge. Why more and more foods are not being certified, and more, because that is where the demand is there, but whether we are able to cope with the necessary certifying bodies and so on and so forth. So this is more of a religious need. So we need to be very serious, and we need to try to make sure that it is being expedited. Did I answer the question?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Then the second question from Bapak Muhammad Imron to Professor Hasanuddin. There are two questions here. The first is, what is the function of halal labels for Muslim communities and non-Muslim communities? And what are the benefits for non-Muslim communities? That is the first one. And the second is, what are the benefits of Halalan Thayyiban's products as new wave in the global industry and society 5.0?
Okay, first with regard to the halal certification for none. It all depends on the market purchasing power. Like for example, in Singapore, for example, the number of food institution, even McDonald's at one time, there was no halal certification. But because of the huge demand of the Muslims and the purchasing power of the Muslim was quite high, they will have to go for a halal certification. For the non-Muslim also, many after the COVID, they realized that the food being produced is not only halal but Thayyiban, and more of them are switching. Therefore, the Muslim entrepreneurs, Muslim industries, they should have already gathered and check on these statistics and also be able to maximize and increase their production. So this is something which is a plus factor. And the second question with regard to Halalan Thayyiban, what was the question? Halalan Thayyiban.
Wait. What are the benefits of Halalan Thayyiban products as new wave in the global industry and society 5.0 for them and for us?
Okay, as I said to you, society 5.0, every one of us, every one nation can build it up. It is not something like for us to take and do. No, society 5.0 started in Japan in 2016 and 2015. 2016, they bring it up to the central government for them to be able to visualize what is that society going to be. So they found out that the society in the future, the number of those who are in the age group, which is in the pensionable age group, is going to be huge. Today, the workforce is like 73 million. But in a few years' time, their workforce is going to reduce to 53 million, 20 million of reduction in the workforce. Why? Because of the demographic of the people. And then they found out that the infrastructure is also deteriorating. But that was built for high growth. But in the future, what they want to do here is they want to build a society which is more in line with the needs of the people they have. Not just blindly go for growth until they destroy their planet. In Japan, for example, they take good care of the planet. They make sure the trees are not chopped. It is an offense and so on and so forth. They are building this society. So Indonesia also and Malaysia too, we should build the society 5.0 in accordance to what is our strength, what is the need. Not necessarily we need to put more cars on the road, more pollution, and more things which is going to destroy the planet. So it becomes a challenge to each and every nation to now seriously look into society 5.0, how it is built. Society 5.0 is not it's just a template, an idea, an imagination of Japan, what they want to be. So for us, we have to take it up at the highest level for the society, for the decision makers, to make sure that they will not just blindly come out only for economic growth at the expense of the people, at the expense of the planet. But what they should do here is to infuse, to make sure that the working hours, the life, the leisure, the Halalan Thayyiban industries are all given due recognition, and it is the way of life. And Indonesia can show the way because of the huge Muslim population. You do not have any issues to come up with the fashion of what Islam wants, and to make sure that the most important thing here is where is the supply line, the supply chain. Are they in control with the Muslims? Are the Muslims in control of the wholesale markets? They are not. So there are so much with the authorities and individual. It can be empowered to us also. Every individual can now try to strive the society to reflect what it should be in accordance to our values, our norms, and what the teachings of Islam is. So this is a very good question, but we need to think. It is not like something like AI or fintech, we just take and use. No, this is something which we want to build our society to be. It is already there, but we have to make it at the national level. It's not only just at the lower levels.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Prof. For the third question, how do you see the current pandemic situation in relation to the development of the halal industry and halal civilization that we are doing now?
Yeah, you can see at one time before this COVID, most of the European nation disallow hijab Today, hijab is the fashion. And before the non-Muslim take it up and have it in their fashionta, we should already embrace and come up with what it should be. No, hijab is just natural wear. So this COVID has actually brings us back to the real teaching of Islam. We were doing during the good time, everybody was chasing. Chasing what? Chasing the American dream. And what was it? Greed and fear and destruction of the planet, destruction of the economy. Because the Muslims, we were just passengers in the bus. Today we are in the driver's seat. The COVID, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown us the way. But how many of us have muhasabah and look within us to see that this is what we need to do? You know, when we are not allowed to even to go for Jama'ah prayers, for example, how frustrated we were. But the planet has been destroyed to the extent that we were not in the driver's seat. If we were in the driver's seat, we would have taken care of the planet as what the teachings of Islam is. How many of us are do very good in the rituals, but when it comes to application of the Islamic way of life, we don't seem to be applying it there. Muslim world just simply go and cut down the trees. The non-Muslims are keeping the trees. The non-Muslims are doing what we have been told to us. But it's our fitrah, because the indoctrination which we had, we were chasing after something which we will never be able to achieve and never bring about happiness. Happiness is truly when we embrace whatever the teaching of Islam is, and in our doing of things, to make sure that the planet, the people, is more important. And it's not to say the Prophet is not important, because Islam also strives on business. Muamalat is very important, but the muamalat must be honest, not to the extent of greed, not to the extent of cheating and fraud. And most of the Western finance is all full of frauds. So these are things which the COVID has teach us. The COVID has given us a chance to see that we were right, not the Western civilization. The Western civilization is on the collapse. American today, you can see, are they happy? They are shooting each other. So, but a lot of our mindset is still the American way of life, not our way of life. But the COVID has given us something for us to think. And this is the golden opportunity. Do not lose it. This kind of conference is also very important for us to get together, to share, and to remind each other that we have the right things. Do it, be confident, inshallah, we will be way ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
So
Next.
Excuse?
Yeah. Yes, Prof.
Am I excused? I can leave?
Oh, okay. Okay. So you have this, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, all the attendees, because time for Professor Hasanuddin is up, then we will move on to the third speaker. By the way, Prof. Hasanuddin, how can we reach you if there are still many questions here?
Okay, Saiful is in contact. Please forward them to Mr. Saiful.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then thank you very much, Prof. Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz, for your valuable time here and sharing with us. Yeah, hope we can meet you again in the near future. Thank you very much, Prof.
Please convey my salam to Dr. Anton and others and Salatiga. I will be there, but what to do? This is already, alhamdulillah, for sharing my thoughts with you all. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Prof. Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz. Okay. Okay, we will move on to the third speaker, the last speaker, that is Professor Dr. Abdul Aziz Nugraha Pratama. Dr. Abdul Aziz, are you ready? The floor is yours, Prof. Dr. Abdul Aziz.
tes.
Oke, ya.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. My Honorable Prof. Dr. Sapta Nirwandar from IAIN, Prof. Irwandi Jaswir from Halal INHART IIUM Malaysia, Prof. Hasanuddin Abdul Aziz from IAIUM, and Prof. Dr. Habib Tirzin, and all participants. I'll presentation my paper here about Halalan Thayyiban and happiness in industry 4.0 and society 5.0. In this life, we all focus on the food we eat because first, it is for survival. Food help us our body function properly and help and prevent or treat disease. And second, it is an interaction, an important dimension of interaction between religion and other. Then what is halal? Halal is a word in Islam, and religion determines that determines by Islam is it is the type of food that Muslims are allowed. This permitted food under Islamic jurisprudence is called halal. Reported that Muslims are the fastest growing the growth of halal consumer goods and services. About halal label, related to religion practice and as a differentiator between individuals and other individuals. Halal certification and Quran is a symbol of a high level of religiosity. And Muslim consumers in UK, consider the halal label as a signal to provide relevant information to increase the perceived value and perceived benefit of the label itself. But Industrial Revolution 4.0. The Industrial Revolution 4.0 has brought us to the new world indeed. Indeed, one of the trigger is 4.0 technology evolution, which include artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotic, printing, and blockchain. The Industrial Revolution 4.0 is not just the application of all digital advanced technology, but also requires change in the way of thinking and working, so that the need for mastering new skills that are more adaptive to this new situation. Industrial Revolution 4.0 has brought new change in life. Change is a necessity, So or the question is, have we adapted to this new change? About Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0, Industrial Revolution has triggered digitization and automation and various sectors in the industrial process. This allows for major change in the business model, thereby creating new businesses and disrupting conventional established business that have existed for a long time. Not finished yet. Japan emerged with the concept of society for 5.0 that made humans at the center of technological development. The next question, so can the two eras of innovation create human happiness or welfare? Then about religiosity and consumption. Religiosity influences feelings and attitude towards consumption. And for market segments based on religion, company image need to be displayed to using the symbol of religiosity in accordance with certain religious norms. What about economics and happiness? Economic and happiness is new wine in old bottle. It is Richard Sterling was the first modern economist to revisit the concept of happiness in the field of economics in the early 1970s. Since then, the concept has been widely accepted. The first World Happiness Report was published in April 2012 in a meeting by United Nations about happiness and well-being. A report states that countries have made great progress in economic development as measured conventionally, but in development succumbed to the new crisis of obesity, smoking, diabetes, depression, and other diseases of modern life. Over time, happiness has become the right measure for social progress and public policy goals. So, what about Islam and happiness? Imam Ghazali in his book Al-Kimiyah As-Sa'adah defines happiness as feeling calm or happy. You do this by understanding four basic theories. The first, know about yourself, who are you, where do you come from, and where do you go. And second, know about God, realizing God is the creator and we are only human. And the third, knowing about the world, that realizing that God did not just create human, but there is space, time, and others. And the fourth, knowing about the afterlife, we must realize that there is another world after the living world, which is the afterlife. So I saw the hadith about halal and happiness. An Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Inna Allah ta'ala tayyibun la yaqbalu illa tayyiban, wa inna Allah amaral mu'minina bima amara bihil mursalin. Faqala ta'ala, ya ayyuhar rusul kulu minat tayyibati wa'malu sholihan. Faqala ta'ala, ya ayyuhalladzina amanu kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. Thumma dzakara rajulu yutilus safara as'atha akhbara yamuddu yadayhi ilas samai. Ya Rabbi wa mat'amuhu haramun wa mashrabuhu haramun wa malbasuhu haramun wa ghudhiya bil harami fa anna yustajabu lahu. Rawahu Muslim. The point in this hadith that we can underline then he mentioned that someone had traveled far away in a cramped and dusty state. He raised his hand to the sky while saying, "Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, even though the food is unclean, the drink is unclean, the clothes are unclean, and the needs are met from something unclean. Then if so, how is prayer will be answered?" This is the point. Rawahu Muslim. The future of the halal industry, research conducted by Iwuki and Abdul Karim conclude that the halal economic system is a product of Islamic religious ethics, but the choice and acceptance of its values in the global arena is based more on objective and capitalism or globalization. Therefore, the future of the halal industry is influenced by the development of globalization. So the meeting point, Industrial Revolution 4.0, that identic with digitization and automation of industry, plus the concept of society 5.0 that indicated by human being as a center for the development of science and technology. It is can make mankind or human welfare. The state is responsible for its citizens to defend their lives and life through working the area of the Industrial Revolution 4.0. So I have some strategy here. The first, halal lifestyle. We have to make halal lifestyle like when we live in protocol health protocol like lately as habit. And second, we make more RPH, rumah pemotongan hewan, more in many city, I think, RPH Syariah. So hotel Syariah and tourism, restaurant, medicine, etc. And then we make or focus on Syariah banking and insurance banking, etc. So we can focus on Syariah production house, maybe. Too many films in my country that make membuat keprihatinan kita bersama tentang film-film, about film in Indonesia that tidak sesuai dengan ajaran Islam, misalnya tentang perilaku-perilaku yang tidak sesuai. And then masyarakat ekonomi syariah, we make pressure as the pressure institution, I think, just not tempat kumpul-kumpul, tapi ya as the pressure institution. And then we make regulation and legislation in the halal strategy. I think we need more regulation and legislation in the halal industry in Indonesia. And the end, honesty to be the real characteristic of trader. Membuat jujur para pedagang. Sedikit mohon maaf saya sedikit bahasa Indonesia supaya memudahkan penyampaian. Kalau kita di Salatiga ini, kebetulan we live in Salatiga, we use an application like Gojek, etc. When we want to get a food, then we click go food. We get a good something, I think. What is that? We can read a menu or restaurant that honestly terang-terangan menyatakan atau menyebut ini restoran babi, pork restaurant. I think it is a honesty. That is a good sample for us. Then what about in Indonesian context? There is ini sebuah berita yang saya kutip dari sebuah koran news from Republika. That Director of Industrial Regional Directorate General of Relation Regional and International Industrial Access of Ministry of Industry, Ignatius Warsito, said that there are 4 industrial areas included in the plan to develop halal industrial areas in Indonesia. It is very nice, I think. The 4 industrial estate are Batamindo Industrial Estate, then Bintan Industrial Park, then Jakarta Pulau Gadung Industrial Estate, and Modern Cikande Industrial Estate. According to him, in this news, the development of this area is one of the effort to support of implementation of halal product certification. Okay. Still in Indonesian context, the concept of the welfare state places the state role in a strong and large position in creating public welfare or social welfare and social justice. Thus, the labor law system that creates public welfare with the aim of maintaining the right to work of human labor, so that it is not eliminated by the Industrial Revolution 4.0 as a step toward realizing a welfare state. And my conclusion, Industrial Revolution 4.0 indicate digitization and automation of industry. And the second, the concept of Society 5.0 indicate that human being as a center for the development of science and technology. The third, halal is permitted food under Islamic jurisprudence. The last, halal lifestyle and regulation and legislation make we happiness or welfare. I think it's all. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for Dr. Abdul Aziz Nugraha Pratama for your nice presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to the discussion session. Before we proceed to the discussion session, I would like to ask Dr. Sapta Nirwandar, are you still with us here? Dr. Sapta? Are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah. We will have a discussion session for Sapta, and there are some interesting questions for you, maybe. We hope that you can share your experience or share your knowledge about this. Yeah.
If I could, why
The
not?
first is, okay. Yeah. First is from Bapak Abdul Wahab Syahroni. Can we make the development of the halal developer and property? Is it possible, Doctor?
Yes, of course. There is some project in Jakarta. There is property, and also there is apartment based on environment of Islamic, of halal, etc. Even there is also a boarding school inside, and etc. That can be done. Why not? This is not like ghetto, but this is more services for the people who stay in the apartment or in the area of halal complex.
Okay. Yeah. Next, question number 2. Sometimes what happens is that the product is halal, but suddenly we hear that in the business to business process there are activities that are not halal. How we should find the solution for this matter?
Yeah, I think Islam is not difficult. If you don't know about the originally financial, etc., you just eat it. There is no harmful for if you don't know exactly how you can make some intelligence particular for which the money from and etc. It's not the purpose of the people. I think same thing with the certificate. Certificates is the role of the government to give certified for the halal. Is also this is a protection, consumer protection. This is protection for the Muslim people. Why? Because most of the certification is a combination from government and because from the ulama association, like even in Thailand, Sikot and government work together in order to organize the certification body. Same in Malaysia, of course, Indonesia also. Why? Because this is protection for us. Why? They are so easy, like Professor Irwandi said, to check the halal food and also especially what we call fine product or snack, something like that. It's not easy because there can be mixed up, and mixed up is has to be tested in laboratorium. That's not easy to see. That's why if there's any label, especially for the big enterprise, they don't play. That is halal. Otherwise, they can be a problem if they happen is cheating or is related with is not compliant with the halal certification. I give an example. Last time there is a Cadbury chocolate, and one time we testing in the laboratory. It's not halal, and then suddenly viral in bahasa Indonesia, viral, and then they have a potential loss about $1 billion in human. That's dangerous. That means, yeah,
Okay.
you don't compare with a small tukang bakso in front of a gang. Yeah, they mix up good slaughtering in ayam, etc. Yes, yeah, this maybe happen. Like Indo food, if they said Indomie is a halal, I think under control of some expert for that. They certified it's halal. Even Sushi Tei actually, because halal is a brand, they make also Sushi Tei is very well known for the kid. They said Sushi Tei is halal. Why? Because they are worried if this not their fine is not halal, they will potential loss more 40%, 30% of the profit. That's the actually. That's why halal is a brand. Halal is a business opportunity in the world, not only in Jakarta.
Next question, Doctor, about the halal industry between Indonesia and the neighboring countries, like explained before by Professor Irwandi, in South Korea, in Taiwan, in China. Then are we left behind, Doctor? Or maybe we are in the same level?
In GIE Global Index Economics, produced by our partner Dinar Standard, we are number 5. Totally, it is integrated.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. Mean ecosystem, especially. We are number 5. Before we number 10. Now we are increasing number 5. But if we're going to sector by sector, we are the best more than Malaysia for the modest fashion. Modest fashion, we are good. And of course, finance, we are good also. We left behind for the financial. And they left behind also for the food. Why? We have food is this is irony. Why? Because we much imported than exporting. That's the problem. With much food for us, but domestically export. This is why we are more importing than exporting. That's why we are also can become the country to export. We have the potential. Yeah, that's Dr. Irwandi and also my statistics say why Brazil has very strong exporting chicken. It's far away from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, from Sao Paulo to UAE, to Brazil. Why not from Indonesia? Just chicken. No, it's not a complicated one. Of course, if you are talking about cattle and etc., this is Australia number 1. That we have also this problem. I think how we can produce this is, and of course we are strong in cosmetic. I think Wardah is one of the very popular cosmetic and competitor with Revlon and etc. And we don't touch also, there's also in IAIN. IAIN there is no a faculty or business matter, halal business. In Malaysia they have 10 halal business center, that halal business school. In Indonesia mostly economy syariah. This more macro, more wider. They're tough. Like I will have a conference with Marco Timan. He's a PhD in halal supply chains. Unfortunately, he's not Muslim, but he's a very tough in halal supply chain. We don't have yet center and school of business. And according to Hadith, from 10 is 9 profession is good is for the businessman. Like Rasulullah. Rasulullah is a businessman, not like us. I am also originally from ISN, from civil servant.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Same for like majority of us. Okay. The last question for Doctor. How can we manage the Halalan Thayyiban for tourism sector? What kind of halal thing we can offer for visitors? This is the question from Ibu Fatma Puri Sayekti.
Yeah, okay. Ibu Fatma, don't confuse for the halal tourism definition. I just would like to remind halal tourism is extended services for the Muslim travelers, not we make a halal destination. Mean what is? We cannot make a lake or a mountain or what is Borobudur to be transformed halal. But if you are going to Borobudur, we have requested we request the the services. Mean if we wanted to pray, there is a musola. You want to have a good food. Yes, that's the difference. And you are going to the mall. Actually, all mall very competitive. They provide the musola. If there's no musola, we're not going to this mall. That's if we are going to the Tanah Toba, not that Toba, not we are pretending to transform Danau Toba to be halal. This is for humankind, not for the Muslim. But if we request, they accept it. We request what? The musola, halal food, and etc. etc. If you are going to beach, yes, of course, you can wearing the full coverage, and you can go to SIMS still. There is no product to cover for the Muslimah. That's the halal tourism. And the halal tourism is different with what we call Islamic tourism. Islamic tourism is especially related with the Umrah and Hajj because they need requirement, extra. For halal tourism, this by definition, you can go to even to Hong Kong, but you still have a good food from aircraft. You can request special food, mean halal food on flight. And when you go there, you can ask the hotel with the facilities, with the sajada, musola, and etc. But you don't need actually for the compass because you have in the gadget for the qiblat direction, you have for the time, etc. Even you can tilawatul here in the gadget. That's the modern life, right? That's the halal tourism is good for Muslim because halal tourism is the first we remind to the God, how God create the nature, how the God create the planet, and etc. etc. That's the difference with Italiano people when you see the in Salatiga something with really like a coffee plantation. They said, "Fantastico." This is Italiano proprietor before. For the Muslim, this is ibadah. That's what's called. Mashallah. They already have ibadah, that one. This is spirit of halal tourism. Secondly, there's also spirit for what we call silaturahim. And there is also, what is this? Knowledge, education for the halal tourism. That's and of course, they will also encourage the business of in the halal. When you come to the Salatiga, you have to find what will be the best food in the Salatiga. What will be the best souvenir from Salatiga? What will be the good institute in Salatiga? What also will be the good things for what is said for souvenir and etc. etc. That's the power of halal tourism, and unfortunately, the halal Muslim international Muslim travelers much more going to Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand than to Indonesia. That's the challenge for us. The challenge for us, how to increase the Muslim traveler. There is 220 million over the world from OIC or non-Muslim population country like France, like German, also British should come also to Indonesia, even from China. That's moderator, Pak Agung. You hear me? Pak Agung? Yeah. Where is Pak Agung? Oh, Pak Agung. Mana dia Pak Agung? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, because our moderator Zoom is off, so I will continue this program with a closing statement from Dr. Sapta Nirwandar. To Dr. Sapta Nirwandar, time is yours.
Oh, okay. This is not expected one. Okay, I jump. First thing I would like to thanks on behalf of the IAI, especially from our chairperson, Madam Sri Mulyani. Normally she should come because she's too busy actually. you know, because the pandemic COVID, they have to work on more than double, triple maybe. And then, of course, thank you for the rector of EIN, also all the attendees, and also the speaker, all the speaker, eminent speaker who has had share the knowledge, the experience to us. And I do hope halal industry in Indonesia especially will become important, not on the economy, but also for halal lifestyle, for society, and of course also for the what is called the knowledge. That means R&D and also research and development mean should be developed. Of course, in the scholar, also the industry has to be developed. We don't want to be only just consumer or market oriented, or we can become only just market. We want also to have like a leading sector halal in the world. I think that's moderator. We close with Alhamdulillah. I do hope this barakah for us and barakah for EIN Salatiga and also the double tree, something like tree. What is tree institution for organizing this very interesting event. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Sapta, for the closing statement. And now we are in the end of this event. First annual International Conference on Islamic Economic and Business with the theme Halalan Thayyiban as a new wave of 5.0 society. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the committee, we would like to extend once again our deepest appreciation to all of your support in participation. To close the program, let's recite Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sing that shit. Shit. 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 Think 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 that shit.